with the 90, 95 degree temperatures we're having, this event is not an outdoor street festival. This is in the Douglas County Event Center, which is a beautiful, beautiful indoor air-conditioned 32,000 square foot facility. So people not only are going to get great food, great beverages, wonderful entertainment, but they're going to be able to cool off from a warm day. What do you think about that?
Oh, I
Sounds
love the air
perfect.
conditioning.
That is great. Now, this runs from 5:35 to
8.
Yeah.
Yep, 5 to 8.
No, 5 to 8. Yep, absolutely. It's always the third Thursday of August. It's always 5 to 8. We haven't deviated from that. But, there's going to be fast food restaurants there. There's going to be QSRs, as we call it in the industry, quick service restaurants. There'll be fast casual or family restaurants, but there's going to be restaurants like Manna out of Castle Rock Adventist Hospital with executive chef Dan Skay and his Sue Adam Feason. They are talented guys. Alan won the cooking competition a couple of years ago that we had at the Taste of Douglas County. We're going to have food from my neighbor Felix. That is wonderful, wonderful cuisine. Chef Alex from the View House will be there. We're going to have food with Gary Mantelli from the Courtyard Social. So even though the tickets are $20 at the door, they're only $10 in advance. And yes, in addition to being indoors, that ticket includes food and beverages. I can't say that enough because so many people say, oh, well, this is the admission ticket, and then I have to buy food and buy drinks. Nope. You show up with these tickets for $10, you don't have to bring a nickel. If you're one of these people that doesn't carry any cash whatsoever, don't even bother to bring your credit cards because it is all inclusive for $10.
That's going to be amazing.
Incredible deal.
Because, most of the time you go to these things and you get in and then you've got to go buy the drink tickets, you got to buy the food tickets, and they always work it out so that when you have those little tickets, the math doesn't work out right. You're always left paying for tickets that you don't end up using because the math, you're trying to find the lowest common denominator, and that's hard. This is the cool thing. It's for $10. The tickets are, if you buy them before you get to the door, $10, and all the food and beverages as you wander around and you browse all the different tents. You get samples at each one of them, and the food is absolutely free. You like one of those tents a lot? Yeah, you go back several times. I might have done that several times last year.
You just go back in line.
I just walk away about 3 feet and then make a giant circle and come back, and then they're like, oh, look, I'm back. Look at you again. Yes, and they're like, here, have another piece of pizza. Thank you so much. Yes.
Well, and the whole idea 23 years ago was to let people know when Douglas County only had about 60,000 residents 23 years ago, that we have wonderful dining facilities in this area. Bill and I talked about yesterday, you and I, Bill, talked a little bit about people that are new to the area, new to the county. I was at an appointment yesterday, sitting in the waiting, talking to a lady next to me, and she said, well, we just moved from, where else? California. And, in California, and I said, don't even start. I know what you're about to say. You're about to say, well, we've got great restaurants in Northern California, and we haven't found them here. They're all over the Denver metro area, and a bunch of them are going to be at the Taste of Douglas County. My neighbor just moved here. And I said, why don't you come to the Taste? Because this will introduce you to a whole range of restaurants. If you live in, it's easier to get to Castle Rock and the Douglas County Event Center from Lone Tree, Aurora, Greenwood Village, Littleton. It's easier to get to the Taste of Douglas County on Thursday evening than it is to get downtown for an evening event at the DCPA.
Yeah, it really is. And especially when you're talking about that 15, 20-minute commute for families, there's a choice where you can make that decision. Okay, we could go to downtown Denver and deal with everything that we've talked about, the issues with parking and also the issues with the crime and the homelessness, or you can turn the other direction and go south and go to Douglas County, and it's that traditional Colorado family-friendly. You're not going to worry about getting from the parking lot into the restaurant as to how many times you're going to get hit up to, for homeless people asking for change. You're not going to worry about what your kids are going to see. You're not going to have to step over, needles and other things that have been left on the ground. It's going to be nice. The other part is, if you do live in Douglas County, there are always going to be restaurants that you didn't know about. There are a number of times all of you can think about the fact you're driving through the neighborhood and you look at the side of the road and go, hey, I didn't see that sign before. You weren't looking for it. You didn't see it. So there are undiscovered gems, even if you're a longtime Douglas County resident, that are there.
No question.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And you mentioned going to downtown and parking. You can't park in downtown Denver for $10 on an evening out. So here it's going to be free parking, free admission, and the food comes with the ticket. Or the ticket is $10 for the parking and admission, and the food's free. Play with the semantics, play with the terminology any way you want. But, folks, we're going to have about 35 food service establishments. It will include beverages from Pepsi. I talked to Sean Early, the general manager of Pepsi Denver, last night, and they are all set. He told me about a new product they're thinking about introducing. We're going to have beer from the Rock Yard Brewery. We'll have wine. We'll have Honeybrook mead. And many places will be giving away stuff. Bimbo Bakeries always gives away a bunch of baked goods. Matter of fact, KNUS is going to be there. You guys are going to be there. And you're going to be giving away KNUS bags while they last, so people can carry the freebies they get from Danny Cash, Hot Sauce, and other places.
Yeah.
So
they better come over and find us quickly. Those bags went like hotcakes last year. I mean, all of a sudden, we had people coming up halfway through going, you have any bags left? I'm like, sorry. So, yeah, if the beeline when you get through that door is come on over and see us at the KNUS tent so you can get the bag. That is going to be the most valuable thing for your entire evening. People were so mad we ran out of bags last year.
Does that hurt your feelings that they come directly over to the KNUS tent to get a bag rather than just to see Jeff and Bill?
No, I'm actually surprised when they come to see me. I'm like, what? You want to talk to me instead of getting the bag? My assumption is you want to get the bag. Why would you come and talk to my dumbass?
Yeah, hi, Jeff. Hi, Bill. Yeah, you guys are cool.
Yeah.
Where's the bag?
Yeah, where's the bag? Give me the bag. I know what's important here. We have priorities.
The taste
and we always have a wonderful band. We've got a local band, Dal Woolham's. He has put together a band called A Bit Hazy, and they just play nice, soft 70s and 80s rock and roll. You'll be able to talk. It's not like it's blasting out. And you know what? I know that listen, we're Americans. We're skeptical. What's the deal? What's wrong with this? If it glitters, is it necessarily gold? All of that type of stuff. But, folks, this is the real deal. We've had fun with this for 23 years. And as far as I'm concerned, people say, why don't you raise the tickets? You know what? Because we've got wonderful sponsors like Advent Health and First Bank, so we don't need to. So we can just keep it a nice, affordable, fun event. So that people like Jeff Hunt can bring his lovely wife, who's running for the Elizabeth School Board, by the way, folks, and his children, and it's an inexpensive night out. So come on by. We'd love to see you.
Oh,
yeah, I asked my kids to come with me, and they said, Dad, we're not going to be seen with you in public. We know what you do. Thanks. Appreciate that.
People are probably saying, how do I get tickets? Well, Bill, Jeff, I'm glad you asked.
Yes, we were just about to ask.
TasteofDouglasCounty.com. TasteofDouglasCounty.com. I also put tickets at Granelli's Pizza on Wilcox Street in Castle Rock. So if somebody lives in Plum Creek or Founders or the Meadows, if they live somewhere in the Castle Rock area and they've got to go into downtown Castle Rock, it's easier to stop at Granelli's and pick up the tickets and have them in your hot little hand rather than printing them off your computer. But tasteofdouglascounty.com. Yes, you need to get your tickets before 5 o'clock on Thursday.
Yeah, because it'll save you. Yeah, it'll save you 50%. Yeah, save you 50%.
I mean, the amount of food for $10. Get this right now.
And
TasteofDouglasCounty.com.
You are going to kick yourself if you forget to get your tickets early and you show up at the door and you're like, oh, I'm paying twice what Mike Boy was talking about.
You'd be amazed, guys, how many folks, I'll be out and about on Friday, the day after, or I'll go on the air on Saturday and people say, oh, that was yesterday? Oh, that was 2 days ago. So, folks, you are warned. And it's not just the View House. It's not just the aforementioned restaurants. It's the Tailgate Tavern from Parker, one of everybody's favorites. It's places like the Old North Inn will be serving Italian. Crave Real Burgers. Safeway Deli does a great job. So there's going to be an awful lot of places there and plenty to pick and choose from.
Oh, it's going to be great. So make sure to get those tickets early. Do not wait until you show up at the door. You're going to save 50% off that door price. They're only $10 right now.
Yep.
Tasteofdouglascounty.com. Tasteofdouglascounty.com. This happens Thursday. Douglas County Event Center kicks off at 5 p.m., only goes until 8 p.m. Yeah, you're showing up, you're paying $10, free parking, and you're getting free dinner and a drink. That's basically it. I mean, it's not a sit-down, anything like that. You're browsing around and you're getting a sample at all of these restaurants that are in Douglas County. If you do it right, it's dinner. Why do you think Jeff's bringing the hunt kids?
Yep, 100%. That is exactly right. And it's
He's
good.
got this thing locked down.
And I'm just going to let them run around. Just go find what you want.
Find what you
just
want.
stay
Go
away
back
from
and
the
ask
meat,
them.
kids.
And you know what? And God bless Donald Trump. And God bless our DEA agents that you guys are going to be interviewing today. But it's a 3-hour break from reality, too. That's
That is great.
All right,
Tasteofdouglascounty.com. Tasteofdouglascounty.com.
Yes,
Mike
get those
Boyle,
tickets.
thank you so much for
Thank
taking
you.
time to join the
Have a
Jeff
good
and Bill
day.
Show.
I appreciate you guys. I'll see you on Thursday.
All right, let's kick it off. Now it's time for news and comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
I'm hungry again, and the show hasn't even started. Good Tuesday morning, 62 and clear in Denver, expecting a high of 92 today. This portion of the news sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story and investigation began in October in the Denver area following a request by Arapahoe County Sheriff Tyler Brown. At least 40 undercover operations were conducted during the investigation, leading to 30 arrests. At least 8 of the people arrested are said to be members of Trente Aragua. 69 guns were seized or purchased during the operation, and the suspects face charges ranging from drug trafficking to murder for hire. And Jeff and Billy will talk more about this coming up this morning. Big story. The husband of Denver City Council member Stacy Gilmore is among 171 employees laid off by the city Monday. Scott Gilmore worked as the deputy executive director of Denver Parks and Recreation for more than a decade and was just 4 years away from retirement. Gilmore implied her husband was let go because she is a frequent critic of Mayor Johnston. The Gilmores also say his salary is not part of the general fund and won't help reduce the city's budget deficit. A city spokesperson declined to comment on the decision. Well, you get what you vote for, as Jeff talked about on X in a great video when the city puts illegals ahead of citizens, wasting millions of dollars. Hey, this is what happens.
Did you also see they're taking a $26,000 retreat?
I did.
City Council.
Where are they headed?
City Council on the day. So you got to give credit to Brian Moss on this. It is remarkable. Yes. Go watch, and I've posted the video on my X account, x.com/Jeff Hunt, where he talks with the president of the City Council about booking a $26,000 luxury retreat for city council members, and she has to go answer for it the day they're notifying 171 employees that they've lost their job. Watch this nitwit try to explain this away. I mean, she talks about they have they have oxygen saturation rooms for the city council people.
Oh my
to have this nice look. Oh, but it's really good with ADA, and it accommodates everybody really well. And we tried to get out of the contract, but we're just too late at this point. But yeah, they're in a few weeks going to go enjoy this nice, luxurious retreat.
Unbelievable.
Well, 171 people lost their jobs yesterday. I mean, at this point, I'm like, you guys get this. I mean, this is why I don't live in Denver, because you're literally governed by the stupidest people put in there by voters who apparently think that this is okay.
Republicans are definitely not perfect, but you've got to find conservatives, people. I'm telling you. We've got to turn this state around. If you're going to turn the city around, you have to do it. These freaking lefties, man, Democrats, they will just spend and blow through cash, your money, like it's no business. Just no problem at all. Hey, it ain't over till it's over. Russian drone attacks on central Ukraine overnight. Despite that,
President Zelensky, you look fabulous in that suit.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, you look good.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, looks good.
I said the one that attacked you last time. See, I remember that.
I apologize to you. You look wonderful. No, my first question for you, President Zelensky.
In the same suit. See, I changed you not.
pocket size with a quote of the day. I give credit where credit is due. He wore a suit purchased at Joseph A. Bank, and then he told the reporter who ripped him the last time he was here, you're wearing the same suit. Friend of the show, John Decker, was right next to that reporter, by the way. DJT played host to Ukraine's President Zelensky, NATO, and European leaders, and they agree any deal would likely include U.S. security support for Ukraine. 47 says he's also spoken with Putin and hopes to arrange a three-way meeting soon. But once again, there were attacks last night over central Ukraine. Until they find peace and they settle this thing, I guess he's going to keep on attacking.
We live under each day attacks. You know that today have been a lot of attacks and a lot of wounded people, and the child was dead, small bomb, one year and a half. So we need to stop this war, to stop Russia, and we need support, American and European partners. And we will do our best for this. So, and I think we show that we are strong people, and we supported the idea of the United States, of personally of President Trump, to stop this war, to make a diplomatic way of finishing this war.
Italian PM Maloney.
Something is changing, something has changed, thanks to you, thanks also to the stalling in the battlefield, which was achieved with the bravery of Ukrainians and with the unity that we all provided to Ukraine.
DJT trying to get rid of mail-in ballots before the 2026 midterms. We talked about this on Monday, but it is the easiest way to cheat. Just ask George Soros, USAID, and the CIA of Old Guard. A lot of things are going to be exposed in the months to come. Health officials say 2 people are dead of the West Nile virus in Fremont County, 5 deaths. And 47 cases have been reported this year. The virus is spread through infected mosquito bites. Symptoms can cause fever, severe fatigue, and meningitis. Officials urge the public to wear DEET and protective clothing. An agreement has been reached between Air Canada and the union, representing over 10,000 striking flight attendants. Since the federal crackdown began in D.C., authorities have made over 380 arrests, with illegals accounting for more than 40%. D.C. Mayor Bowser urges the administration to clarify if the increased federal presence targets crime or immigration enforcement. Why? What does it matter? They're both breaking the law. Oh, here's Bowser, the mayor.
This doesn't make sense. You know it doesn't make sense. The numbers on the ground in the district don't support 1,000 people from other states coming to Washington, D.C.
Okay. Broncos at the Saints Saturday morning at 11. Rockies get by the Dodgers last night 4-3 tonight at Coors. First pitch 6:40, 60 in Parker, 61 in Thornton, and 62 in Denver. Jeff and Billy continue. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Your 7:10 5-day forecast. Skies will be clearing into early Tuesday with morning temps a degree or two either side of 60. Then for Tuesday afternoon, sunny, mainly dry. Highs low 90s, lows low 60s. Lower to mid 90s with sunshine continuing Wednesday and Thursday. Lows mid 60s. By Friday and the weekend will cool to the mid 80s with showers and thunderstorms. Weather brought to you by L&L Heating and Air Conditioning. For quick, trustworthy, and dependable service, call 720-851-1690. Or visit them online at bestdenverhvac.com. Meteorologist Don Watzel in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
We got a lot to unpack today, starting with the breaking developments out of Washington. Yesterday, President Trump welcomed Ukrainian President Zelensky to the White House, along with top European leaders. The atmosphere was a complete turnaround from their tense meeting earlier this year. This time, Trump laid out a detailed battlefield map of Ukraine, discussed security guarantees, though stopping short of NATO membership, and floated the idea of a trilateral summit that could include none other than Vladimir Putin. But as soon as those words left Washington, Moscow fired back. Kremlin said it's open to direct talks with Kiev, but won't commit to Trump's proposed three-way summit. Instead, Russia doubled down, demanding Ukraine surrender key cities in the Donbass region, while at the same time launching fresh missile and drone strikes against Ukrainian cities. That's Russian version of negotiation. Bombs in one hand, peace talk, sound bites in the other. So here's the question for us this morning. Can Trump actually pull this off? Is he the one leader capable of brokering peace, or is Putin just stringing the West along as he keeps fighting? Should Ukraine even consider giving up territory for peace, or is that a dangerous precedent? We want to hear from you. Give us a call, 303-696-1971, 303-696-1971, or text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. Is this the start of a breakthrough, or just another dead end in a brutal war that shows no sign of slowing down? Bill, your thoughts on what happened yesterday?
I want to know why this is so hard for President Trump to end this, because during the campaign he said it was easy. He said that Vladimir Putin likes him, they're friends, he respects him. We all remember he said it could be done in 24 hours with a phone call. Now, while that might have been hyperbolic, this seems vastly different than the relationship and the promises that President Trump laid out prior to the election. This seems...
And you blame Trump for not being able to get this done.
What I'm saying, yeah, I do blame him. And he made all sorts of promises, and I think it's fair to revisit what he said he could accomplish versus what is being accomplished. That seems fair. If someone comes out and says, I can do this, vote for me, and then we look at the history, once everybody, 49% of the country voted for him, what the ability to accomplish that is so far. And I think the most telling instance was when the Russians came back and said, we don't want to talk to Zelensky. You can't make.
They said they do. They want to have a bilateral. They said they're not interested in trilateral at this point.
Yeah, I just talked to him. That's fine. So then the idea of cutting, Trump out, is he settling it then? That's the idea. Where is it? That I don't understand. I don't understand where this is going. Why this is taking so long?
Trump has said this is harder than he thought it was going to be. It's not like he's going, well, one day and committing to one day. He even admits, he goes, out of everything I've had to deal with, this is a lot harder. And so in the midst of this negotiation between Putin, Zelensky, and Trump, you think Trump's the reason this peace deal isn't coming together?
No, it's easy. It's Putin. It's the reason. But that's what it was before the election. But Donald Trump said, and in fact, in the last 24 hours, they said he thinks Putin likes him, and that's why he wants to end this, because he likes him. Yeah. Because Putin likes Donald Trump. Do we see any indication that Putin wants to end this? He's still launching missiles.
Why do you think he came to Alaska?
To delay.
Yeah, so you're of the mindset that Putin's just going to continue to push this, and that he's not at all interested in negotiating peace.
I'm of the mindset that Vladimir Putin is exactly where he is right now, the same place that he was before the election, and that is that he wants Ukraine, and he wants to get as much territory as possible. The more time that we give him and the less support we give to Ukraine, the more likely that is happening. So as long as Vladimir Putin can slowly erode support for Ukraine and continue the fight, he gains more territory, and it's much more likely he ends up with that territory. Vladimir Putin so far has gone through, when his military actions inside of Ukraine, he's now gone through 1, 2, 3, he's on his fourth presidential cycle? Obama, Trump, Biden, and now back to Trump, just on this issue. So he has the ability to play the long game. He has the ability to wait this out in a way that the U.S. doesn't necessarily, because of how often we hold our elections. And so all I'm looking at is that during the run-up to the election, there were conversations about this isn't as easy as a single phone call. This isn't as easy as. This isn't as easy as.
Bill, that just seems. I mean, it seems like you're relitigating stuff.
Yeah.
So
yes,
Trump,
I think it is fair.
Trump has admitted. So what? Trump has admitted this is tougher. So you want to continue to talk about the one-day promise, the one-day promise? But here's my question to you.
Yes.
So nobody can solve this.
No, what do you mean by that? I don't understand.
There's no negotiating here. I mean, if Putin wants Ukraine, then there's no negotiating.
Why? Why do you assume that?
Well, I just asked you that. You just made the argument that Putin wants Ukraine, and that Trump can't deliver this peace.
No, I didn't
Biden
say that.
Can't deliver this peace.
No, that's not what I said at all. You weren't listening. I'm sorry. Or maybe I wasn't clear enough in what I was saying. What I said there, the people that hadn't delivered the peace, the issue is I'm saying that he's playing the long game. He's waited through 4 presidential cycles. So as long as he continues to wait this out and he continues to do this, maybe I'm interested in peace, maybe we can do talks, maybe we can do this, maybe we can do this, maybe we can do this, let's talk about this later. As long as that long as that cycle is going on and he does it with everybody, he's waiting people out. And he knows that the longer this goes, the more opportunity he has for territory. The way you constrain that is you start him losing economically and losing militarily.
Okay, we're going to ramp up. You want to ramp? So he's ramping up, which I don't want to dismiss that. I mean, he responded yesterday with lots of bombs, lots of drones, firing back.
Odd.
You want to see the United States, Ukraine respond like that, Europe respond like that. So maybe even escalate, push this.
I'm looking at our support for Ukraine. We should stop just messing around with it, and we should lean into the support for Ukraine. We should lean into
more aggressive war.
Absolutely, yeah, and give them the support that they need in order to affect the change that they need on their border. Yes, they should have more military. They should have more troops. They should have more. I'm not sending American troops or anybody else. Anyone wants to volunteer, go right ahead. But as far as military hardware and logistic support, yeah, absolutely, 110% they should, because that's when you're going to bring Putin to the table. As long as Putin thinks that he has leverage and he can win, he has no incentive to negotiate. And so until you really start kneecapping him economically, and some of that involves pressure on India, and there's some other issues there, but you do that along with increased military support, because what he's seeing us kind of play around, and as long as he can keep us arguing between NATO and the U.S. and what are we going to do and how much money and who's got the support, if we all lined up behind them and we're just supporting Ukraine, and Ukraine was pushing Russia back like they were at several points during this military conflict, then Putin has a reason to look for an end of the war. But right now, all he has to do is delay as long as possible, because every opportunity, every day that he gets is a chance to get more territory. That's all this is. This is what it was beforehand, and it's what it is now.
I'll be honest, what I hear from you is just a continuation of the last 3 years. Just more military, more spending, more fighting. At this point, nobody, and Joe Biden wasn't even close to this, had Putin, European leaders, Zelensky, all meeting, all talking within the last week.
How many times have they talked?
And so you could say this is all worthless. This is all worthless. It's not going to matter anyways. Send more bombs. But at least there's an effort to try to end this thing. What effort out of Biden was any different than what you just talked about? Send more bombs.
Here's the thing. And this is why Putin is playing the long game, because the approach under the Biden administration changed under the Trump administration. The approach under the Obama administration changed under the Trump administration, which changed under the Biden administration, which changed under the Trump administration. Fourth change. That's why I'm saying he waits it out. The Biden administration was, we are not talking to you because we know you're playing with us and all you want is as much territory as possible. We are not coming to the table and talking to you. And now we're talking to him. And so far, we have not seen anything other than an increase in aggression. So I don't see that the talks are getting necessarily anywhere. And the reason why I don't think they're getting anywhere is because Russia still feels they have an advantage. Putin does not want to really negotiate peace unless he is at a disadvantage. We need to place him at a disadvantage, then he'll talk. Did Biden place him at a disadvantage? No. There were portions that we were placing Russia into a disadvantage, but did we? No. I'm not saying that the choice is binary to where it's either Biden's way or Trump's way. They both messed it up. We both have been inconsistent and unclear on this. But who has been clear is Putin. And this is what Putin's going to do. He is going to string this along as long as possible.
What you want is an escalation of arms.
Yes. I want to push Russia back. I'm not willing to give Russia territory when they invade a sovereign country. I'm super curious why the U.S. is okay with this, especially Russia.
I'll tell you why. One, it's not a NATO country. And then two, it's, again, we are spending our resources, $37 trillion in debt, by the way, spending our resources defending other countries halfway across the world.
We just passed a huge tax cut. If we're worried about the debt, there are issues that we can do there. It's hard to sit here and say we passed this massive, giant tax cut at the same time we're worried about the deficit. That's difficult. But again, for me, spending the money in Ukraine without risking American blood and troops on the ground and denigrating the Russian ability to make war is a strong investment to me. It's a smart investment. And I understand that Ukraine's not a NATO country. But in the 90s, we promised to secure their sovereignty and their borders. We made a declaration to them, and we have gone back on that. We are not helping them secure the borders.
Let's go down your pathway. Let's go down the way you're thinking. Why do this half-assed?
What do you mean by that?
Why are we just handing them money for bullets and bombs? Why not just go win this thing?
Because
we spent billions of dollars in Afghanistan and Iraq. That turned out well, by the way.
Well, because then you're getting into an open conflict with Russia. And at this point, as long as we are providing support to the country in which they've invaded, the country in which we promised to support and help protect their sovereignty, that's a better international
play. Bill, you
want
to put Putin in his place, so why not an open conflict? Why are we dancing around the truth here?
No, it's not. It's not dancing around the truth. It's understanding the chess pieces on the board. And right now, we have the ability to hurt Russia through an ally. Yes. Through support. Yes. That's a great way to do it. and to hurt their standing internationally and
So
to
why not
denigrate the
just do
military
this year after
capability.
year? Let's do this for 20 years, man. We can slowly drain them, fight it. We've been doing it for 3 years anyways. So Trump's effort to try to negotiate a peace was worthless anyways because we could at least drain an opponent over conflict in a satellite country year after year after year. If this is an investment, let's make it a 20-year investment.
That wasn't my end goal. I'm saying it's good right now. What I was clear about and what I said earlier was very clear. The idea that Russia isn't going to negotiate until they feel they're at a disadvantage, and we need to place them at a disadvantage, and that is through our support. I'm not talking about this being a 20-year war. What I'm talking about is our support has waxed and waned, along with that from NATO. And if we were stronger behind Ukraine, we might be able to put Russia into a place in which they feel that they are at a disadvantage, and then they will negotiate. As soon as Putin feels he's not in a position of power, he will negotiate. Right now, he's still in a position of power.
Has he ever been in a weak position to negotiate in this thing?
Is what? I'm sorry.
Has he ever been in a weak position to negotiate in this fight?
Maybe once or twice, but not long term, no. Not in my opinion. But
So,
again, that's
I'll be honest, it just seems like more of the same because at least we get to drain an adversary through a satellite war. I feel like I'm back in the 80s, neocon type of activities. Look, Donald Trump has gotten these two adversaries closer, more focused on particular issues than Joe Biden ever could. He's gotten world leaders together in the last week at a point that nobody else has. This thing, I hope is close, but my goodness, to go back and say, well, Trump said he could do this in a day, when Trump said, yeah, it's become harder than he thought. I think Trump's coming to terms with how difficult it is to work with Putin. But I don't put this on Trump. I don't put the blame on Trump. Trump is putting a tremendous amount of resources of his own presidency towards trying to negotiate a peace in a war he didn't start that's halfway around the world. It's incredibly impressive in my mind.
In your mind, who started the war? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, Putin. 100% Putin started the war. But I think you could easily say this would have never happened under Trump. So join the conversation. We'd love to hear from you. 303-696-1971.
What would Trump have done under Crimea?
What's that?
What would he have done when Putin walked into Crimea? What would he have done differently than Obama? Because that's where it starts. What would he have done?
I don't know. I mean, I think that's conjecture, but I think I think you would have seen a lot more aggressive response.
I know, but I'm just kind of curious what it might have been at that point. And so that's the idea. You make this assertion that it would have been different under Trump, and so I'm asking how.
It factually didn't happen under Trump.
Yeah, it did. There was conflict between them.
The invasions? The invasions took place under Trump?
No, there was conflict between Ukraine and Russia, and there were border issues and skirmishes and things like that. Yeah. But I'm asking you, and I go back to Obama. So if Trump was in power and they took Crimea, Trump was going to do what?
Respond in force.
Okay. So that would be troops, or what would be the force?
Yeah, sure, probably. But it's actually factual because you're in La La Land right now.
No,
what
I'm
was
not.
actually factual is that this didn't happen under Trump because Putin respected Trump's strengct. That's factual. That's historically factual.
No, I
disagree.
You can be like,
I
disagree.
What would have happened?
No. I'm factually accurate. I'm saying when this started was in Biden. What you're doing is you're saying because Putin respected Trump, I disagree with. You're saying it didn't happen, yes, but your causal reason behind it, I disagree with. We have nothing showing that.
Other than it didn't happen. All right, join the conversation, 303-696-1971, or text us at 720-819-5115. Let's talk Guy Rees. Actually, we'll get to Guy Rees in a second. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Wake up, Denver. There's no better place to start your morning than IHOP, where the pancakes are fluffy, the coffee is hot, and the smiles are endless. Wednesday, August 27th, join Jeff and Bill as they broadcast their show live from IHOP at 1595 South Colorado Boulevard in Denver. You're officially invited to be part of the excitement. Come grab your favorite breakfast and watch the Jeff and Bill Show in action from 6 to 10 a.m. Don't forget to try the special Jeff and Bill breakfast. Pancakes, any style eggs, and crispy bacon, all for just $7.10. It's a deal as good as their hot takes. All they need is you. Bring your appetite, bring your friends, and kick off your day with great food and great conversation. See you Wednesday, August 27th at IHOP.
Jeff and Bill show kicking off hot as we debate Trump, Zelensky, Putin. Could there be a peace deal there? We'll continue, but now it's time for that Tuesday morning edition of You Choose the News.
Yes, we're going to play America's favorite fake radio news game show. It's You Choose the News. I've spent moments this morning scouring the interwebs for really dumb stories about us humans, giving them more ridiculous headlines so that we can play this fake radio news game show. Why would we do this at 6:50 in the morning, wasting valuable KNUS airtime? Well, because those in charge are not awake yet, so we're going to take full advantage of being left unsupervised. Now, as always, Jeff Hunt's in the studio. Blake Olson joins us from the news department. Gentlemen, here are your choices. Headline number 1, awkward pickup line. Headline number 2, binary solution. Headline number 3, a little wager. And headline number 4, snitches get paid. Mr. Hunt, your choice, sir.
Let's do snitches get paid.
Snitches don't get stitches. They get paid if you are in Iceland. A supermarket chain in Iceland is going to financially reward any customer who reports an incident of shoplifting. It's part of their effort to tackle rising levels of retail theft. There's a 20% increase between 2024 and 2025 in Iceland so far in basic shoplifting. That is the highest percentage recording in recent memory as far as a rise. So this company is going to say shoppers who alert staff to a theft in progress will receive basically £1 on their Iceland bonus card.
I love it.
Yeah, now the company estimates that shoplifting costs them around £20 million each and every year. Iceland is saying the shoppers don't have to necessarily see that the shoplifter is apprehended, just to let them know what was happening, and if it is verified, they will receive the incentive. They said encouraging customers to take part in crime prevention could potentially help reduce prices in stores as well. Oh, I think it'd be a great idea if, like, King Super, Safeway, anything else, that if you notify them of a shoplifter and it's verified, yes, absolutely. Yeah. I would say that if you report them, you get one amount, and if the person is captured and charged, you get a second amount.
Well, just hand out free cookies.
It'd be smart. Oh, they do.
One cookies if you catch the shoplifter.
Well, the thing is, if what's when the Broncos win, you get a free donut. So you could do that.
There you go.
Yeah. So kind of a thing. I think, more than when the Broncos win, though. We should get money. Give them money, Get a free watermelon. Those things are expensive right now. So watermelons are so expensive. Okay. All righty. Blake, your choice, sir. Awkward pickup line, binary solution, or a little wager?
Awkward pickup line.
Yeah, awkward pickup line. A breakthrough study, scientists have transferred courtship behavior from one species to another. Well, that makes the pickup lines a little bit awkward. Now, the genes have been swapped between species that influence traits, traditionally known that these genetically swapped behaviors. They haven't seen them done this way in animals before. This isn't about necessarily finding those hidden genes inside of you. It's actually taking genes that used to exist in one animal and swapping them into another one. It's Nagoya University. The researchers achieved this remarkable feat recently. They manipulated a single gene inside of two different species of fruit flies. This is important because one species of fruit fly sings in order to attract mates. The other one throws up on itself. So one of them sings in order to be very, very attractive to the ladies. The other one, it's an act called gift giving, where it throws up and regurgitates and hoping that the ladies will like the food.
College men do both, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
They sing and throw up on
themselves.
Yes,
exactly. But you're not, that's all over my shirt. The funny thing is that they were struggling then. The new flies didn't all of a sudden just spontaneously started exhibiting the different mating behavior of the other species. The cool thing is here, this is not like going into your DNA and awakening some unlocked genes. So now you are like part of the X-Men and Charles Xavier's crew. No, these are completely different genes. They are transferring from one species to another, which is kind of crazy. I know.
Interesting. I'm picturing the Fly, that movie right now.
Oh, yeah, Jeff Goldblum. Yes.
Thank you,
exactly.
Goldblum. Yeah.
That is a creepy movie. It's a good movie.
That is a good movie.
Now, Jeff, final choice, sir. Binary solution or a little wager?
Little wager, please.
Yeah, just a little wager. That's what Bet Online is encouraging you to place recently here. Their privately held international gambling company has announced that, yes, the wait is over. Again this season, you can wager on all 38 games in the Little League World Series. Yes, you can bet on little guys.
Are you kidding me? We're betting on Little League?
This is the 4th year in a row they've let you bet on Little League.
This is so stupid.
Yes, it is. The Southeast representative from Florida is the tournament's favorite, but that's the American favorite. The 17-time champ, the Chinese Taipei, that's representing the Asian and Pacific part of the international bracket, though, is the favorite among the international teams. America, however, has captured 5 consecutive Little League World Series championships. I'm just trying to help out your bets there. Yes, but now you can bet on little kids.
I mean, you're going to end up with a bookie hanging out by the dugout of the Little League going, hey, kid,
but here's the cool
can you give me the inside line?
Well,
what happened with your middle school friends?
More than that, though, the thing is, you don't have enough imagination here, Jeff. The thing is that, think about this. Fixing a game at the major league level is really difficult. At the Little League level, dude, it's like a trip to McDonald's and a Pokemon card. I mean, the investment is real low. So I'm saying, some Pokemon cards.
It's all about video games.
Exactly. You're just saying, hey, I'll buy you a bunch of Roblox, kid. The kid's going to throw. He's going to throw the game for you. You get some Roblox money and he's going to be good. So, yeah, I'm just saying.
True.
Yes, we now can bet on Little League games. This is where we have come to. And they're not the only one. They're one of 3 companies that will allow you to bet on Little League games. And here's the funny part.
That's horrible.
Now you add this with all the crazy parents that are...
Oh, it's horrible. This is the funny part is the betting companies are coming out going, oh, it's a, quote, lull in the sports betting season. We don't really have anything to bet on because we're not into the, really the meat of the baseball season. Basketball's not there. Football, we're not into college football or NFL football, so there's nothing to bet on. So they are going to want you to bet on the kids.
People bet on NFL games?
So I've heard.
Apparently cheerleaders, too. All right.
That's news. All yours.
Thank you, Bill Thorpe. Coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, David Oleski's Special Agent in Charge, DEA, Rocky Mountain Field Division, upon the busting of 30 members of TDA live in studio with us. You're listening to Jeff and Bill.
KNUS.